αυτόν de ἐπαλαστήσασα προσηύδα Παλλάς Αθήνη, ο πόποι de πολλὸν ἀποιχομένου Ωδυσῆος, δεύει ουκέν μνηστῆρσιν ἀναιδέσι χεῖρας ἐφείη. Ήγαρ νουν ἐλθὼν δόμου ἐν πρώτῃσι θύρῃσι, σταίη ἐχών πήληκα καὶ ἀσπίδα καὶ δοῦρε. Now, I'm going to translate this as feelings of vengeance. But I like I hope you savor how I'm trying to do this,
yes,
which
this is hard.
Which is feelings of vengeance vis-a-vis him. In other words, she's sympathetic by feeling the same kinds of I gotta get even that he feels.
Uh-huh.
Because it's alastor is somebody who cannot forget and therefore is the perfect avenger. Because an avenger can never forget, and it's absolute non-forgetting. Okay. So something like feeling avenging thoughts towards him,
not at his expense.
Say it again. What?
Not at his expense, though.
No. I mean,
on his behalf.
On his behalf.
Yeah.
Right. But directing fellow feelings of vengeance towards him, fellow feelings that would solve it. Pαλλάς Ἀθήνη addressed him. Oh me, oh my. Mm-hmm. Supposedly that's a Dryopian word for oh gods. But that's just, I think, fanciful ancient Greek lexicography.
Yes.
So I say, oh me, oh my, oh my, oh me, ah me. I can now see, this is something that I've just discovered today. I now see that you're really missing very much Odysseus, who's gone, who's out of the picture. The one who could just set his hands on these on the shameless suitors. For I say this because if he, coming back home and standing at the front doors of the palace, at the front swinging doors of the palace, if he were taking a stance there, having on him a helmet, a shield, and 2 spears, then, that's right, that's period.
Maybe, is the Agar okay.
If only.
Yeah, if only is what it means.
If only he came back home and took his stand there at the front doors, because I imagine that there are several sets of doors you go through as you go further and further inward into the
or is it
sanctum.
An elliptical plural like the doorway?
Could be, in the doorway, but why is it first?
It. Yes, because there's a doorway in the courtyard, the outer door, and then there's an inner one.
I think there is. Yeah. And I still remember there's this archaeologist who was pointing out that at this so-called Minoan administrative center, did I say palace? No, I said administrative center at Zakro, I think. What happens is that you have to have one seal to get through the first set of doors, another seal if you were so privileged to get through the second, and still another through the third. So there were these degrees of security, and I think this is just the outer doors. I would think. I'm not sure.
Isn't this the place where Telemachus saw Athena Mentes at first?
I can't remember.
Can you check that? I don't know.
So stei dithakes en idemo epi prothyrois Odysseus. And she stood in the land and the district of Ithaca at the prothyroi of Odysseus.
Prothera.
Oh dear.
That's the gates that are in front,
right? Dear, that's in the front.
That's
in the front gates.
It's the same as the prothai?
You know what, I think, let me say this in medieval Latin, bene concedo. Concedo.
Okay.
So I prefer then to say front gates.
Okay.
Instead of first, second,
Yes,
versus
exactly.
second versus third.
Yep.
I like
Okay.
that. Thank you.